Hello and good evening, everybody. I hope, well, first of all, let me apologize for the worst influencer video ever done. That was the one I did and posted today at the Four State Comic Con in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Worst influence video you'll ever watch, and that's the reason why I'm not an influencer. From how I was talking, you would think that we didn't have a good time. We did have a good time. After I had shut off the video, Miss Stipley and I were interacting much more with each other, and we went around and we looked at the different vendors that had stuff that she would be interested in. Like, she does, like, when you go to these smaller conventions, she does like how you have that one person and they have all sorts of like jewelry, like earrings and brooches that have like the one I saw a lot of purple. It was metal with glass ball in the middle, and in the ball it had like a sci-fi image or a anime image, and various types of earrings that you could get and whatnot. So we went to all those types of vendors for her, and of course we went to the one who sells popcorn, and I'm not the popcorn, sells marshmallows, and she really likes the marshmallows. So she got they had a deal. I think it was like five different flavors or 5 containers for a certain amount, which was less than if you bought like 1 or 2. She got that. She enjoyed those a lot. We always go to these small shows. She always gets those. She just really does enjoy them. But then while we're walking around, I was keeping an eye out at different vendors who were like, oh, that guy's got dollar boxes. That guy's got half off cover price. That guy's got 50-cent boxes and this, that, and the other thing. And so once we were done for her, she was like, do you want to look at anything? I said, yeah, there's 1 or 2. So I went to the one vendor, and they had 50, and they had 50-cent boxes. And so I first started going through, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I want that. Pull that out, pull that out, pull that out. Next thing you know, I'm like, can you do me a favor? Can you count up how many books I have there? And she counts it up, and she goes, you got like 32 books. I'm like, okay, so that's like $15. She's like, yeah. And she goes, just get an even 40 books. So that's $20. That's 40 books for $20. I'm like, okay, so I go through. And then went to another vendor. Now this vendor, he was, I don't want to say sketchy, but you know how when you go to these shows and you go to the guy where it's like you can tell he's just got all of his overstock, and it's just a hodgepodge, and there's no rhyme or reason, no organization. Hell, you go through and it's like half the books aren't even in bags. So it's and he was charging $1. So I was like, I'll look at them. So I went and I looked through, and he also had the deal where it's like, okay, buy 5, you get 1 free. Spend $10, get 3 free. Spend $20, get 6 free. So I went through, and at first I went through and I really wasn't seeing anything. Like, then I hit the motherload of DC's Secret Files and Origins, and those, for whatever reason lately, I'm in a kick that I really like those. But then I always liked the Who's Who. So for me, it's like that was like an evolution of the Who's Who. You gave you a comic book, but then they gave you Who's Who entries of the various characters. Let's say this is a Bat family. Whether it be heroes or villains, you got 1-page entries of Who's Who giving you, and it was, I like those because it gives you an update. It keeps you updated on the Bat family, on the Flash family, on the Super family, and that way, so if they hadn't, and they always had it where they were coming out right before a specific event. So it kind of got you caught up to date with what's going on with these characters. So when they do the event, if you hadn't bought Superman in a while, you were caught up that then you could buy the event book and follow and still have an idea of what's going on. So I ended up spending, spent $20, got the 6 that were free. So I want to go through those books first, and then after we see how much time we have this one is, I'll either tell you about my I made a second trip. So yeah, we'll do the second trip, or I'll do that as a separate video altogether. Most likely it's going to be a separate video altogether. Okay, so let's go in. So, okay. So this was when I went for the 50-cent books. You can tell the 50-cent books because you can see they put a fat red marker through. So let's just get rid of the bag. And I'm just going to go through here. So first one was All-Star. Okay, I'm sorry. You guys are going to read everything in reverse. I'm sorry. I didn't think. Oh, well. So, anyway, number 12, All-Star. All the JSA All-Stars. Figured, why not? What the hell? It's 50 cents. We have JSA Strange Adventures. I got issues 2 and 4. Artwork done by Barry Keatson. I really do enjoy Barry Keatson. I've already set aside my books for what I'm going to have Barry sign at the Baltimore show. I'm probably going to pull 2 of those books out and add these 2 to it. So you know what? Because I'm going to do that, we will set them down here off this side. So, okay. Darkseid War, Justice League. Yeah. Like I said, 50 cents. 50 cents. Justice League 17 by Snyder, Chung, and Morley. Justice League 42, Aaron Lopresti. I was like, I wonder if I have that. We'll find out. Again, 50 cents. And that was the other thing when I was going through is how, like, Kelsey, when he said when he went down to the Tampa show, and how there was no comic book vendors, and like he was really looking forward to finding that vendor for the quarter boxes or the dollar boxes, as someone I told him how that's the dollar box now. Kelsey, these were 50 cents each. I'm going to tag you in this video, but dude, $20 and for 40 books and $20 for 26 books, and it was just, I was like, yeah. So Kelsey, there are shows. You go in some ways, Kelsey. Don't go look for the big shows. Go to your local show. You'll probably be able to find those dollar boxes and just ham out and go crazy. Justice League number 15, got it because of Chung and Morales. Old Hawkeye and Dove. The Incredible Hulk, I grabbed this one because had written by Pack and Paul Peltier and Tom Grummett. Green Lantern 43 with Venditti and Van Sciver. I got it. It's the Bombshell Retro. I was like, what the hell? Why not? Fantastic Four. Final Crisis Submit by Grant Morrison, Matthew Clark, and Norm Ratman. So I'm probably going to set this one aside also because if I like this one, I'll have Matthew signing. Remember, Matthew's going to be at the Baltimore Comic-Con, and he is going as a guest at the Hero Initiative booth. Remember, the intent is for the artists there are raising funds for the Heroes Initiative. So hopefully hopefully that's what reason why he's taking part at that show. And then we got Gen 13 Fire from Heaven. So I grabbed this one here. DC Universe Special number 1, Justice League of America. I am a big Justice League fan. Justice League was the first superhero book I got, or started getting on a semi-quasi-regular basis from the newsstand or from the spinner rack at the local 7-Eleven. Up until then, it was always Star Wars and G.I. Joe, Justice League. In fact, it was it was a George Perez cover, and one of the very first ones, it was issue 204. All the members of Justice League are all beat up and lying on the ground around a hospital bed, and then Hector Hammond and Dr. Stein are fighting in the ethereal realm above it. It was, as a kid, I was like, oh my God, and the detail into it. Still, I look at it and I'm like, look at the detail that he put into that. And it's one of those where it's like, I look at how like these people who they do Tumblr amateur artwork that's being printed with, and you can tell that they're doing it on a freaking computer. And it's like, you can't do this. You have a computer. You should be able to be doing George Perez level artwork. Instead, I'm not going any further. I'm not going to go any further. But, okay. So, again, this was called the Dead No More, the Clone Conspiracy. I don't know anything about it, but, I mean, hey, I got issue 1, 3, and 5 because it had Chung and Slott doing the artwork. So, it's one of those where it's like, hey, those guys, you can't go wrong with those guys. And then Deathstroke, the Ravager contract, number 3. And then, again, Dollar Box. We have Detective Comics Batman 668 and Detective Comics Batman 671. All done by Graham Nolan and Scott Hanna. I'm sorry if when I'm reading this, it's over here. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm not a good influencer either, obviously. So, and I have no problem with not being a good influencer because I have no intent of being an influencer. Because overall, when I see those videos, they annoy me. I'll just set those off to the side there. Grab the second stack. So let's pull these out. Okay. So we have Batman Superman number 49, done by Shane Davis. Oh, wow, look. It says right here that Shane Davis is the penciler, cover art. What the? Okay. Apparently, this has Shane's signature on it. And you can tell by the red mark that I got a comic book signed by Shane for 50 cents. And I got issue 45 also. I got 2 Shane's books for 50 cents each. Okay, you know, once Shane finds out about this, his response is going to be like, well, thanks. I guess I'm only worth 50 cents to you. Shane, I didn't get the thing from me. I just bought the book because I was like, and the reason why I bought the book was because I was like, oh, wow, this is Shane Davis. I don't have any of these. Why not? And for 50 cents, why not? And again, Shane's going to be like, yeah, you bought it out of a box for 50 cents. And it's got my signature. So you not only did you get a book, but you got my signature for 50 cents. Don't shoot them at, hey, lucky recipient. So anyway, that's pretty exciting for me, at least. Yes. And you know what? When I told you about the secret second trip, I went back to those guys and pulled and got a bunch of books from the that were $1 each, and that's when I discovered that they did have a bunch of stuff that was signed in the dollars. And again, so when I do that video, I'll let you guys see the stuff that I got that was signed that was for $1. So, but for me personally, getting the signature isn't really that big of a deal for me personally. When I go to these shows, I've picked out specific books that the creators did that are my books. And so I have a connection to those books because I own them. And whenever I go through my collection of signed books, and I do have an extensive collection of signed books, when I go through and I pull out and look at each one, emotionally and mentally, I go back to that moment when I had the creator sign the book. Okay, the perfect example is the book right here, Kyle and Miriam. Okay, I still remember when Bud was at the Baltimore show years and years ago, I had him sign that book. Okay, and then if you go to the top here, where Kyle's name is, I have Ken DeMolder sign that book because he did the inking for it over Lost in Wallace. Okay, I went to school with Lawson, so I have a deep connection to that book. So not only like getting Kim DeMolder, I still remember when he signed that book too. So when I go to a show, I'm not one of those that's you're going to sign this book, and an hour later it's going to be for sale or on eBay. It's not how I am. If I get buy a book and it is and if I go to have you sign it, it's because I want you to sign it because it's for me. It's for my collection. It's not for me to resell. Okay, this is what I have, and what the value of it is meaningless to me. That's Miss Stipling's problem. She's the one who's got to figure out what the value is for all these books that were signed after I'm gone. So anyway, so back to what I got for 50 cents. I grabbed this one. It's a Secret Six, and the reason why I got it is, of course, Miss Stippling loves sharks. So I remember, and this is one of the first books I pulled out. I just pulled out. I turned it to her, and I go, what? And I looked at her and I go, yeah. And she was like, well, yeah. So, so that's the reason why I got this one. And then, of course, I like this one. Supervillains in the Suburbs. What could go wrong? We got a Red Lantern here, Jim Calafor. So we'll set that one down there. We have Blackest Night, Tales of the Corps. So we got a Cable number 150 with John Malin. We got a issue 53, John Malin. Titans, Paul Pellier. We have a Wonder Woman by with Aaron LaPresti artwork. I'm really curious because remember, Aaron said that when he was doing this series, when he was the artist for the series, he was looking at his wife as the reference material for Diana. So, and then we have a Wolverine versus Rogue X-Men 103. We'll see how that one is. Like I said, for whatever, I just grabbed it. I don't know why. The last book I pulled of the 50, is I got this Avengers finale. The reason why I had gotten this one is because it had a double-page spread by George Perez. JSA All-Stars issue number 1. JLA Incarnations number 7. I am a big fan. Again, I'm a big fan of JLA, so that one, 4, 2, there are no brainers to get them. And then lastly, from this vendor, 50 cents each, I got issue number 3 of Major X, Rob Liefeld artwork, and number 4. So, and issue 46 of Shane Davis, which again is signed. Wow. And the thing is, Shane did the interior pencils. Yeah, Shane did the cover and was the interior artist. So, that's nice. I know, like I said, Shane's going to be like, great. You know, when I was first discovered that these were 50 cents, okay, I wanted to do a whole skit, like, and do an imitation of Shane. But it's one of those was like, nah, because really, honestly, I can see individuals being touchy about that subject, about how, because I can see where I can see where artists don't like signing stuff because they don't know. Am I signing this for someone because they generally like my stuff, or are they signing my stuff because they are going to be selling this on eBay? Or in this case, it's a dealer. So they got a whole bunch of these signed, and they sold them, and whatever they couldn't sell is now in the dollar box. I mean, I don't know if what's worse is books in a dollar box that you worked on, or at one of your books that you signed is in a dollar box. So like I said, I'm excited about the fact that I have it. I mean, I'll be honest, if I wouldn't go out of my way to get this. I didn't pull this intentionally going, oh, it's signed. I didn't know until I got home and looked at these. I discovered that. But no, like I've got already like specific DC books that Shane has worked on and did the artwork for, that I'm anxious to meet him and have him sign, because I like them. And then there are his issues when he was working on that he did for Justice League of America. Under, I believe it was Dwayne McDuffie did the story and he did the artwork. I mean, I want him to sign those because I like those books. And because I like Justice League of America, I want him to sign those books. So so that's the first vendor. Those are the 50-cent books. And so the second vendor, like I said, the second vendor I went to, it was more along the lines of, it was, like I said, it was kind of like because there was nothing was alphabetical order. You had bag stuff mixed in with non-bag stuff. As you can see, like from this one here, the bag's not in the best shape. You can tell that it's been pulled in and out of long boxes a whole bunch of times, and it's never been taped. So this guy is like it reminded me of a yard sale or a flea market. Okay, so but I found some books I like. Like I said, I was about to ready to give up when I found all those secret files and origins. So I ended up getting this one here, Citizen Wayne, Batman Legends of the Dark Knight. So Joe Staton did the artwork. Justice League of America. Again, and this lineup, look at this lineup, okay? This is a lineup I want when I pick up a DC comic. I've never been a fan of when you'd see Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman in the lineup. It's one of those where it's like, and because those guys always have their own title, it's one of those where it's like, why are the other characters even there? They're not needed. Specifically when Superman and Wonder Woman are there, they're just not needed. Batman, because of his intellectual mind, in many ways, and you think about it, if you had Batman in this lineup, okay, Batman's the brains, this is his muscle to execute his actions. But this here, they actually have to work together to succeed, even though the times that they bicker, specifically Hawkman and Green Arrow, and they have to work together, and there is a challenge against them to win. And then I came across a whole slew of Secret Six done by Jim Calafor. This one specifically is neat. Catman fights the Bronze Tiger, but for whatever reason, they did the artwork like it's a actual real tiger. It was a Blackest Night tie-in. Again, Secret Six. Green Lantern and Plastic Man. I was like, oh, what the heck? And then I came across it. Secret Files and Origins. This is the reason why I continued to look through these books. Okay, I like these. So grabbed one. X Factor. Grab that. Task Force, Justice League International, Aaron Lopresti. Sovereign 7. This was Legends of the Dead Earth. Remember how like DC always had themes? They always had themes of all their annuals if they weren't interconnected. Like here, year 1. So every single DC title that had an annual was a year 1 one. I did flip through this one, and it's neat. It's kind of like basically it's John Henry and the college years, and basically it's like how he came up with his suit before Superman saved his life. And before, actually, it was him in college, came up with a suit, didn't use it. After Superman's death, he refurbished it, so with including the face mask and the S shield. Detective Comics, Graham Nolan. Now, I will say, Graham Nolan, I am a fan of Graham Nolan when he is being inked by Scott Hanna. I thought Scott Hanna gave him his work a much more finished, fine look. Because remember, first artist that I really gravitated towards was George Perez. Hyper detail, very clean look. Graham's a bit rough. Scott Hanna did a lot of cleanup. I know Graham probably may not have liked that, but for me, that's the type of artwork I like. And for me now, specifically now that I deal mainly with the stippling, I have a much more greater appreciation of Graham with that rough and tough, gruff style, almost a dry brush inking style he uses, even though he does it on a computer. You take a look, he changes the brush work, so it's got a more of a rough look to it, like a dry brush. I know he was a big fan of how Klaus Janson would just take a brush and just with such confidence just pull it across the page and not going, just not how he was. Again, Detective Comics, Batman, Magnus Robot Fighter Year 1, Bagley X-Men, Califor, Secret Six, Judgment Day, Flash Secret Files, and then Legion Secret Files. Here's nice. This is Legion Secret Files. This is 1998. This one is 99. And then, let's see, let's go back here. Where are you, little bastard? Come on. There it is. And then you take a look at, so you can see the evolution of the Secret Files over the years in the cover layout. So, but no, I just always liked them. And then lastly, another Secret Six, John Ostrander and Jim Califor. So I've got some stuff to look through. And so there you go. That was my first trip. Okay, 28 minutes. Okay, I will go through the dollar box. Remember, I went back for the second time, and I got, when I went to get those books that were assigned, and they were in the 50 cents. They had a section also of dollars, and so this is where I realized that they did have that they had signed books for $1, and it was because I was going through, and I'm a big fan of the Justice League and Justice Society. The whole concept of how the lineage of the heroes going from World War II through present day, I really do. And here, this was issue number 53, signed by, the cover artist was Carlos Bataccio. He has signed it, and he's no longer with us. That's where I was like, you know what, I'm going to break my rule, and I'm going to buy these books, even though I didn't have them signed in front of me. Just because, like I said, the artist has passed away. I'm never going to meet them to sign. And here's where it also was, is because he did the cover for this, okay? And I this is one of my favorite books that that was done. And if I had the opportunity, I would definitely have had him sign this book. So that Ethan Van Sciver. Okay. Again, Ethan did the cover artwork. Tom Mandrake, he did the interior artwork of this. So I'm going to definitely set that one aside. I'm definitely going to have Tom sign this one at Baltimore. That way it still creates that emotional attachment to me. And honestly, over time, I eventually probably would have had Ethan sign this book. Okay, JSA All-Stars issue number 2. This one here, signed by Freddie Williams II. JSA, Carlos Patasio did the cover. Wait a second. Carlos Patasio didn't... Okay, he did. He did do the cover. I don't know why I was looking at that. I was thinking that was Rags Morales, but nope, it is Carlos Patasio. JSA and signed by Jeff Johns and Michael Baer. So that was another reason why, because I mean, Jeff Johns, and this is where also Jeff Johns is going to be at Baltimore. His tickets to get him to sign your book, you have to spend $100. You get 4 books signed. So basically, the breakdown is you get it's $25 for a signature. Well, I got this for $1 with his signature and Michael Baer's. And like I said, I already am a big fan of the JSA, and I've got a bunch of JSAs of my own from my collection signed. So just adding it to it. And then here's another one, Jeff Johns and Michael Baer in the corner. So Carlos Patasio cover. Billy Tan. Uncanny X-Men, Tom Rainey. Now Tom Rainey, it might as well have been mine and had him sign in front of me because I have so many books that he's done. So Uncanny X-Men 423, and it's got a Ron Garney signature on it. And I have that book. I was going to have Ron sign it, but he charges $10 a signature. Getting it for $1, I can't go wrong. Uncanny X-Men 484, Billy Tan, signed. Wonder Woman, not signed, but is one of Shane Davis's earlier jobs. So definitely, this is definitely one that's going to be set aside. I'm going to set that in the most wanted files. My most wanted files are alphabetical order of various artists. I've got a file set away. Shane Davis is there. I'll put that in with those. That way, when it's time for me to go to see Shane, I don't have to dig through my whole collection. I don't have to dig through Gen Pop. I just go straight to the most wanted, pull out the Shane Davis section, go through, pull out, let's say 5 books that I want them to sign, get them to sign, then they go in with the rest of the signed books. They're now in lockdown. So, JSA, issue 47, Shane Davis, cover artist. Issue 45 by Shane, 40 by Shane. Issue 28, signed by Bob Wick. Issue 55, cover artist, Carlos Patasio. This one, Von Gromberger, he's going to be at the show. I might have him sign this. And keep in mind, I have set aside my Star Wars books that he did for him to sign, so I might just put this in with those. And then, let's see here, we got almost done, folks. Okay. Wonder Woman special. And then I got these Age of Apocalypse. And it looks like they're the mini-series associated with the Secret Wars. And I was like, what the hell? $1 each? Why not? So, but that's pretty much the haul. I did go to another guy, which again, Kelsey, I went to see this one vendor. Literally, okay, you know how you got 8-foot tables? Okay, this was at least 16. This was at least 16 feet, maybe 24 feet of long boxes. They were in yard sale type or flea markets format where you got bag stuff and non-bag stuff. No organization whatsoever, but it was worth going through the whole all 16 feet because it was Marvel Comics, 50 cents each. Non-Marvel, 25 cents each. So it's one of those where it's like, okay. So even though I did do well, I only spent $26 at that stand. So overall, great day. Pulled in a lot of books, a lot of surprises. So I would definitely, like I said, how we were there discussing how the Tampa Bay Comic-Con wasn't necessarily a great success. These shows that the ones that I've been going to in the local area, and when I say the local area, I mean the one in the Harrisburg, which is like 5 miles away from me, or 10 miles away from me. The one that right over the Maryland border, out right off of Hagerstown, Maryland. That one is not that one there. The one at the Hershey show. There's a lot of vendors there that have bought. You get a lot of the tchotchke stuff and the craft stuff, but you also get the comic book vendors, and a lot of times you got the good stuff that's slabbed, and you got stuff that's going to cost you a lot of money. But then you also have the guys where you're not spending much money at all. So I would definitely check out your local shows to get some good deals. So Kelsey, start looking up the local shows. I mean, if anything, I'd cut a deal with them. Just, hey, I'm Kelsey Shannon. I spent X amount of years in the industry. Give me a table for a day, and you know what? When you get in, just see if you can use it to get in for free. You put your time in, and then it's ones that are like, oh, we got an hour and a half before the show's over, and no one's seen me for the last hour and a half. Hey, I'm going to walk around. I'm going to buy me some books. So, if anything, remember, comic books were always meant to be a disposable item. They were meant to be disposable entertainment. So, really, when you look at it, so when you go into pick up and you look at a book, and it's like this, where the bag's in horrible shape, or the book isn't even in a bag. It's one of those where it's like, it's meant to be read. It's not meant to be slabbed in carbonite. So as John Byrne even puts it, because the reason why he doesn't sign stuff for CGC is my stuff is meant to be read. And I agree with him. That's the reason why I don't own any slab books. So, but hey, hope you enjoy this. This was like, let's see, my walkthrough video was 5 minutes, and this one's 40 minutes. So I hope you enjoy it. And remember, I will see you next weekend for my weekend videos, and the following weekend is Baltimore. That is going to be most likely that is going to be a hiatus weekend. Unless during Labor Day weekend I make some time-lapse videos and don't post them. I'll just hold on to them and post them that weekend. But most likely I probably won't. So just so you guys know. And always check out my older stuff to see how I do the stippling process for creating images, and take a look at my shorts. They're most of the times they're 30 seconds to 20 seconds, and it's just me going to town doing my stippling. So remember everybody, life is indeed stressful, but just take it all one dot at a time.